Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing one of the most innovative timepieces in the history of La Grande Maison, Jaeger-LeCoultre, launched in 1998. This is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Gran Sport Chronograph Retrograde, a timepiece in yellow gold that's nevertheless incredibly wearable on my 16cm circumference wrist. It's simply not an overpowering size. 28mm wide, you can see that obtains from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, not including chronograph pushers or crown. The watch is also reasonably slim considering 2 dials and a rotating case. The timepiece is only 11.6mm thick, which makes it about half a millimeter thinner than a Rolex Daytona. Impressive stuff. Lug to lug, there are 2 ways to measure it, but the most honest way to measure it is the solid end links of the bracelet, which give it an expanse of 50mm across the wrist, but don't undersell the shape of the case, which is actually slightly arced down and around the wrist at its edges. So I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14cm in circumference. It is massive, all in yellow gold with matching gold bracelet and gold clasp. You really feel the precious metal here. It's not grating in any way or tiresome. Rather, it reminds you that you're wearing something of substance and quality. Now, getting a little bit closer to the bracelet, you can see that there is a sort of proprietary junction between the case and the bracelet itself. Now, JLC also sells a rubber strap that interfaces with this case. So if you want to put it on a rubber strap, you're going to buy that when you have that option. It's out there. But consider the bracelet, the yellow brick road, a legend, and the one you want. This design, and this bracelet design, has been used on everything from dress watches to SEAL divers, but this design is a brilliant piece because it has a lovely set of links that are small enough to feel silken but substantial enough to be used for sports activities. You can see plenty of gaps on the underside to vent the wrist on hot days, and you'll also note that there's a beautiful staggered alignment of links to break up the massive metal, and the center is all of satin finish to contrast with the polish of the edge. Now here's where you'll really see the elements that carried over into the Navy SEALs. The clasp design itself. First of all of the removable links fixed by screws, so no pin sleeves here. But internal to the clasp, you can see there's a Rolex style Easy Link incremental adjustment, and that's actually present on both sides of the clasp. So you have 2 mini incremental adjustments that together amount to removing or adding 1 full link from the bracelet. So you have that micro adjustment, and then you have this spring-loaded quadruple trigger release system and double deployant clasp architecture. And again, this is really what continued into the era of sports watches. This clasp design, it is very clever and substantial, and you can see the spring-loaded elements are actually the central block inside the clasp. It is very well made, and it's curved on its underside and smooth to trace the underside of the arc of your wrist. It's a very secure and intelligently crafted clasp and a beautifully made bracelet. The case itself is a little bit more of a barrel than the traditional Reverso rectangle. You can see in profile you still have the conical ends of the lugs, and you still have the sloped profile of the case, and that continues from the standard watch. But when you look at it, there's a little bit of a rounded profile from top to bottom, and the case swells a bit in the middle. The idea was to create a more resolutely sporting Reverso that would reclaim the original sports watch status of the 1931 Reverso, that first polo watch. But whereas you no longer need a rotating case to shield the crystal of your watch from polo mallets, JLC thought it would be innovative to use that opposite case side as a second dial for a complication in the modern era, and that's exactly what you get. You can see this is the dial that was used in the second generation of the watch from roughly 2001 through 2006. The full Arabic numeral was the later dial. The earlier dial featured peripheral Arabics and triangular indices, or dart style indices. Loomed hands at center with center seconds. This is a sporting Reverso. There's an operation indicator down at 5 o'clock that lets you know whether the chronograph is stopped or running. The watch does feature a stop seconds function as well as a quick set, so you can rapidly cycle the date, so it works like a contemporary watch. It doesn't feel anachronistic as some Reverso models can. You turn it all over, the silvered dial gives way to a silvered reverse dial. Now you have, start everything back up. You have a 60 seconds display featuring a sort of yellow brick center. If This is the yellow brick road bracelet. Let's call this the silver brick road, and it's a sort of radial array of the bricks. Anthracite tracks for the chronograph. There's a 30-minute hand, and you can see it's loomed, as is the seconds hand. With retrograding action, it jumps back after 30 minutes. Inside the case, JLC manufacturer caliber 859, manual wind, 44-hour power reserve, 28 8-beat rate, stop seconds, and a quick set date. You have a column wheel chronograph architecture, so it's very crisp to actuate. And all of that water resistant down to 50 meters, 20 meters more than a standard Reverso. This was, after all, supposed to be a more sporting take on the Reverso, and thus greater water resistance was included in the package. You can see and purchase this historically significant 1998 to 2006 model with one of the most important modern movements in Swiss horology. Remember, many folks will say industry-wide, the first post-quartz crisis modern manual wind chronograph caliber was that inside the datagraph. Not the case. This and the chronograph retrograde of 1996, featuring a similar chronograph architecture, were the first. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox.